Alexander Isak has told Newcastle that he wants to leave them and join Premier League champions Liverpool. I can't believe it, to be honest. This transfer window has been insane and more twists and turns keep happening. It broke today that Alexander Isak let the club know who were making their way over to Singapore, who will, of course, play Arsenal in a friendly this Sunday, that he does not want to stay at the club and he wants to explore his options elsewhere. Now, the club that have been interested in Alexander Isak the most this window is Liverpool. Liverpool announced their interest early on. They believed they could strike a deal for Alexander Isak as he has an interest in joining the club. But then it all took a twist when it was announced that Newcastle were interested in Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool then flipped the tables on Newcastle and said, we're interested in Isak. Newcastle told them Isak is not for sale. So what did Liverpool do? They went and bought Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt in a fee that is originally £79 million, I believe, that could rise to £95 million. I mean, Liverpool showed how to negotiate, how to operate properly. They basically said to Newcastle, give us Isak or we take Ekitike. Now they might take both. They might actually end up with Ekitike and Isak. I don't know how they've done it, because Newcastle originally, when it was said they were interested in Ekitike, was their plans were to play Ekitike alongside Isak. And now Liverpool have basically said, yeah, good idea. We'll try it out ourselves. It's insane. How Liverpool are affording this, I don't know. But I do believe because Liverpool didn't spend any money last season, they bought Chiesa, but that was only around £10 million. They pretty much made that back by Real Madrid paying them $10 million for Trent. So their books are clean. Last season, the 24-25 season, because they bought, I believe, Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong and Kerkez were all signed before the 1st of July. They count on the financial records of last season, so the 24-25 season. They've obviously signed Hugo Ekitike this month, and that would then count as 25-26. So even though all these players have been signed after the 24-25 season, it's two separate financial years, which is why Liverpool are able to be so flexible, and they're showing their strength in the market by signing these top players for top fees. If Liverpool sign Alexander Isak, it is a big, big problem for the rest of the league. Everyone knows Mohamed Salah was the Golden Boot winner last season, scoring 29 goals and getting, I believe, got 18 assists for Liverpool in a record-breaking season for the Egyptian. Most goals and assists in a 38 league game season. Pretty impressive. To add on top of that, a man who scored, I'm just checking here, I think it was 23 goals. To add on top of that, Alexander Isak, who got 23 goals and 6 assists for a Newcastle side that finished in the Champions League places. I mean, it's almost unfair. It's almost like, should we put a stop to this? Should we be making petitions? Arsenal fans were making petitions for Madueke not to join. Where's the petition for this? We need this to stop. We cannot let Liverpool sign Alexander Isak on top of Mohamed Salah, on top of Cody Gakpo, on top of Hugo Ekitike. It does look like as a result of this signing, Luis Diaz will definitely leave. Now, Bayern Munich is said to be interested in Luis Diaz. They're willing to go to £70 million. They've had a £60 and £65 million bid rejected so far. So it looks like Liverpool will look to move the Colombian on. They signed him for around £35 million from FC Porto around 2-3 seasons ago. So they're going to make a profit on him. And you're looking at it and you're saying it's such smart transfer business. Of course, I'm an Arsenal fan. This is predominantly an Arsenal channel, but the way Liverpool are selling their players, similarly to Chelsea, that Chelsea are quoted to get in around €40 million for Renato Vega, who they signed for around £12 million. The profit these clubs generate is impressive. You have to take your hat off. And if Liverpool can sell Diaz, it essentially pays for half, probably more than half of Isak's transfer fee. And you're looking at it and you're saying, yeah, it's just good, isn't it? It's good business. Of course, Luis Diaz and Isak are different players, but Isak can operate off that left-hand side. I'm sure Hugo Ekitike will probably operate off that left-hand side, similar to Cody Gakpo, how he can play centrally, he can play wide. It's just good. It's an option you can't really turn down. In terms of the Newcastle angle, they've been left a bit dry here. They've been done a bit dirty. They've let go of Callum Wilson. They, of course, have William Asula there, who is young and probably isn't ready to lead the line for a Champions League club. Newcastle has said to be interested in Brentford Jan Wissa, who Brentford have, of course, just sold Brian Mbeumo, their top scorer, to Manchester United. Jan Wissa scored 19 goals last season, and Mbeumo got 20. So if Brentford lose and Bremo and Wissa, I mean, they're going to want a nice price for it. Hence why Bremo's gone for best part of 70 million. I think if Newcastle want Wissa, they could end up spending 50. Now, I know Johan Wissa scored 19 Premier League goals. There's only 4 less than Isak, but can he do it again? We've seen this from Isak. Everyone's always known about Isak from when he was at Dortmund. So he's always, and Real Sociedad, of course, he's always had the potential, the hype. He's just lived up to his potential. Whereas Wissa is a bit unknown. Is that his peak? Has he hit his max in the Premier League? Newcastle are in a bit of trouble, if I'm honest. However, if they do get a healthy transfer fee for Alexander Isak, I can see them signing someone like Benjamin Cesco, who has come out that he's willing, or Leipzig are willing to accept offers from 70 to 80 million euros, but it's only for special clubs. Now, I did do a video about that. I didn't want Cesco partly because of that he's holding out for a special club, and Arsenal apparently weren't on that list. And that's why we didn't want him, for me, because it's just too much money. And when you look at Newcastle now, I'd be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if Newcastle would manage to get Cesco for that price. I think Leipzig would want similar to what they charged Arsenal, the 80 to 90 million euro mark. So it'll be interesting, but I can see Benjamin Cesco being a good signing for Newcastle if that's what they want to do. But just going back to Liverpool, I mean, if they manage to get Alexander Isak over the line on top of what they already have, scary, scary proposition for the league. I'm telling you, like, the league is in a big, big problem if they manage to get this deal done. From an Arsenal perspective, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans online saying, tell Gyökeres to stay at the airport. Why have we got Gyökeres? We should have waited for Isak. I'm not buying that. Realistically, Arsenal were never going to buy Alexander Isak. We needed too many signings in other areas. He's rumoured to want 300k a week, which Newcastle aren't willing to pay. Liverpool are reportedly willing to go close to that. I just don't see Isak as being realistic for Arsenal. Had we won the league or Champions League last season, different story. Do I think Isak's a better striker than Gyökeres? Well, no, I don't, to be honest. But he is Premier League proven. He's a safer bet than Victor Gyökeres. But when you look at their Sweden records, Gyökeres has a better goal-to-game ratio. I'm not going to compare them too soon. I mean, I sort of already have, but for me, I'm happy with Victor Gyökeres. Isak is a top player, one of the best strikers in the world. Some people are saying he's the best striker in the world. I'm a bit uncomfortable with that. I still think Harry Kane's better than him. I'd rather Mbappe. Lewandowski is probably not the same player he once was. And of course, Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland, for me, I mean, a lot of people are disrespecting him. He still put up big numbers for City last year. I would still rather have Haaland, Kane and Mbappe. But Isak is top. He's probably, you could probably say he's the most on-form striker. Ousmane Dembele is not a conventional 9, but he's out there as well. So Isak is very, very good. But is he 130 to 140 million pounds good? I don't know. I think there's a lot of Premier League rivals tax on that. I think Newcastle have set the fee high to put other clubs off. So as an Arsenal fan, I'm not disappointed. I don't feel like we've missed out on Isak. I'm very happy with Victor Gyökeres, and I think Arsenal fans need to get behind him. Am I being a bit contradictory? As I was against Madueke, yes, but this is different. We need Gyökeres. He's a 9 who's been putting up the goals for 3-4 seasons now, and I think it will help us. That's essentially it for today's video. I just wanted to hop on and discuss this breaking news. Alexander Isak looks like he wants to leave Newcastle. Whether he does or not is a different question. I personally can't see it happening. I don't know why. I mean, I might be proven wrong, but I just can't see Newcastle letting Isak go unless it's something like 130 to 140 million pounds. When a player wants to leave it probably, it does reduce the transfer fee because you haven't really got much bargaining power there. The player won't sign a new contract. You want to get as much money as possible. And you don't really need an unhappy player in the squad. It's just not worth it, especially when he's the talisman. And Alexander Isak is everything to Newcastle. He's adored by the fans. And to be honest, I feel a bit sorry for the Newcastle fans. They're probably going to be hurting. Reminds me when Van Persie wanted to leave. It's devastating. I can feel your pain. But that's it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Will Alexander Isak join Liverpool? And if he does, surely they've got to win everything. But that's it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. As I said, leave a comment below. Turn on your notifications. And I'll see you next time. Peace!